Good afternoon and welcome from Bartercard Oddsale Stadium here in Bradford, Central England, home of the Bradford Bulls, and it'll play host to the third and final trial game before the Six Nations tournament. It's Will Kay and the Australia Kangaroos taking on Anthony McDonald and the Great Britain Lions. And what a privilege it is to be here for your third and final trial game before the tournament kicks off next week in Manchester. I'm Sonny Tyre, SRL Co-Commissioner, and what a game we have on our hands. A lot of familiar faces and a lot of new faces as well, and we'll get into it. Matty Harris, one of the notable names, opting out of Aussie selection, making the switch from the green and gold to the tricolours of the Great Britain Lions. And he's just one of many names, new faces in this Lions side. And Mark Lee making his debut in the green and gold. He will be the one to get us underway here from Bradford. Your third and final trial game before the Six Nations next week as Anthony McDonald takes the first hit up of the game. And we'll start with this Great Britain Lions lineup. Fullback number 1, Tyrone Clay, Ethan Goodwin, Justin Dolan, Lockie Cox, and Jacob Morrison is their backline. Joshua Butterfield and Kyle Lewis in the halves. In the front row, Anthony McDonald and Matty Harris with Blair Curtin at hooker, Dusty Richards, Luke Driscoll in the second row, and Jordan Lewis, the vice-captain, at the 13th spot. So much talent on this Great Britain side, composed of the SRL's best talent from England, Scotland, and Wales. Cody Ogg on the return. Gets a break straight through the middle, and that's a good start for the green and gold here. Already in good position, 30 out from the try line. They give it to Chaz Dingo and get to the 20. We'll look at the Kangaroos lineup quickly. Chaz Dingo, number 1, O'Donnell, Thomas Usher, Jack Jimmy, and Justin Plays is the backline for the Kangaroos. Blake Harris, Mike Borsons, what an exciting duo that's going to be to watch in the halves. Malchus and Lachlan Martin in the front row with Mark Lee at hooker. Kevin Walmsley, Cody Ogg are your second rowers, and Will Kay, the captain and Season 8 SimVP winner. They're at the 13th spot, 5th and last for the green and gold. First crack of the game, and there they are. Kevin Walmsley strolls over the line for the first points of the game. Australia off to a flying start, and what a kick it was there from Blake Harris. Just drops it on the boot, and Kevin Walmsley just has to scoop it up and plant it down. First try of the game from the Kangaroos, and what a start it is. Kevin Walmsley, what a season he's having. Playing for the New South Wales Blues in their series win. And having a breakout season at Clubland for Manly Warringah. And Mark Lee will have his first conversion attempt. Just left of the uprights, and it's good. 6-0 in favour of the Aussies. 3 minutes played here from Bradford, and not the ideal start for the Lions. They're going to have to try and rally up quick here, but they've got plenty of time ahead of them. And what a lineup it is for the Lions. Personally, I believe it's an improved side from the one they fielded against Ireland in last season's test matches. The acquisition of Matty Harris is just huge. It's massive for this Lions side. And Borsons feels the kick, dishes it out long to Luke Malchus. And Luke Malchus, what a season he's had for Cronulla. He's been playing most of his game time at lock, with second half stints in the front row before coming back on. And the lock spot, 65 minutes of the game. Usually that's the routine, and it'll be interesting to see if he finishes the game at lock tonight. But he's starting in the front row alongside Lockie Martin and Chaz Dingo. We speak about familiar faces and veterans inside this relatively new-look Kangaroo side. And Dingo, one of, if not the best fullbacks in the game. And it's always good to have him at the 1 spot in the 1 jersey for the green and gold. Borsons with a crossfield kick towards Jacob Morrison. And he's wrapped up there from Thomas Usher. Usher making his debut for the green and gold after having a great season at centre. He's donning the 3 jersey here today. And it's a big game for him. And there's a lot of debutants here as Anthony McDonald gets smacked from Lockie Martin on the run there. Very physical through the middle as Dusty Richards now tries to get them going on the left edge. Orson's there to collect them on the tackle. Fourth now for the Brits as they give it inside to Anthony McDonald. Gets them just over the 40, but still in their own half, so they're going to have to get a good kick away here. They drop back on the right side. Kyle Lewis gets a good punt away towards the corner of Nathan O'Donnell. Returning it, steps through, cuts infield, and Nathan O'Donnell, if I'm not mistaken, his debut for the Kangaroos as well. Potentially. But like I said, a lot of new looks, a lot of new faces for the Kangaroos. Mike Borson's making his debut. Cody Ogg on the right-hand side. Cody Ogg, a former Great Britain Lion himself, playing for the Lions last season in their test match against Ireland. It was a tough battle, that one, right up until the final 10 minutes where the Irish managed to break away. It was deadlocked at 30 points apiece for a majority of it. But nonetheless now, inside the red zone, Borsons gets a good bomb away. Who's going to be under it? It's Chaz Dingo, but he's wrapped up quickly. And it's Great Britain side now. Tyrone Clay at the 1 jersey. Jacob Morrison on the right wing. Bit of an interesting call there. Morrison playing most of his season, if not all of it, in the second row for the Cowboys.
That's your second.
Be interesting to see how he goes at the wing position. He's very versatile, a lot of speed. So you can put him anywhere and he'll do a job. But I'll tell you what, this Lions side's very impressive, very well-rounded. I think their most strength comes from the forward pack through the middle.
Hold the 10.
So we see them 4 tackle now. But slow to make progress, and Matty Harris gets turned over from Luke Malchus. The two former, or one of them being a former Origin captain, the 2 Origin captains from season 7, having a one-out stare on the run. Nathan O'Donnell now. They've been targeting his side of the field early on here, so that could be the game plan. All the Brits. Coven Walmsley now gets them just shy of the halfway. Second tackle out wide. O'Donnell again. Struggling to get past that left-hand side with Morrison there, and it's a knock on. Walmsley spills it. Referee says play on, and 6 again for Great Britain. Finally with their first look inside this half of the field, I believe. And Tyrone Clay puts on a step. Gets through the middle. And Great Britain now starting to find their rhythm a bit. They shift it left side towards Justin Dolan. And Dolan gets him to the 10 now. Second tackle. Plenty of plays up their sleeve. Taken off the ball. Luke Malchus puts on a huge shot. And I'm not sure who was the one that copped the full brunt of it. But that one is going to be sore in the morning. Second tackle now. The Kangaroos working from inside their own half as they give it to Walmsley.
He's held there. Let him go.
And a lot of question marks about this Kangaroo side, given the amount of opt-outs that they've had. And it's in the touch. Nathan O'Donnell taken out by Jacob Morrison and the Lions. The Brits now rallying around their defense. Nathan O'Donnell thought he was going to stay in touch there, but as you can see, Jacob Morrison just forcing him over the sideline. A game of inches this can be. And this turns it around for the Lions now as Lewis, the Welsh Dragon, the sole Welsh representative here in this Lions side, looking to have a big game. His first in Lions colours after playing for the European side at one point in his career. Third tackle now as the Lions try and get into the red zone. No fans in attendance as it's been through the trial games. But Anthony McDonald gets a big bump off, opening the play there. And all of a sudden they're about 6 meters out from the line here. The Lions give it Kyle Lewis. Risky ball to Tyrone Clay, and Clay doing a great job to hold on to it now. 5th and last. Where will they go here? They play the ball into the short pocket. Butterfield puts it up, sends it high. Who's going to end up with it? It's Justin Plays. And Justin Plays cool and calm. Cool, calm, and collected under the pressure. And I was saying before, no fans in attendance for these trial games. And it could be something that works in favour of the Aussies, because we know how loud and rowdy, a British home crowd can get. And particularly for nations like Ireland and Europe, a lot of support here in the Northern Hemisphere, and they love to sing, they love to get the chants going, and the atmosphere in Manchester next week is going to be rocking as we kick off the Six Nations tournament next week in Manchester, and we cannot wait for it. The crowd will be there, the atmosphere will be there, the place will absolutely be rocking, and we know how good the atmosphere is at the international level of the SRL. The Six Nations tournament, the first 13-a-side international tournament in the SRL, 9 seasons in the making. And I was just regathering my thoughts after a bit of a botch play there from Butterfield, I believe it was. But it's so great to be here, just over a week removed from the Season 8 Grand Final, and here we are already in Season 9. 5th and last now for the Lions. They've struggled to get out of their own end. As we see Dolan, the left centre, he'll just stab it downfield. O'Donnell's there to take it, but he gets a stern shoulder straight to the gut there. I think it was Blair Curtin making that tackle. Is Lockie Martin now. His final appearance in an SRL competition, the Six Nations tournament, before he retires. And it's going to be very sad to see him go, but very lucky to see him playing one last time for the green and gold as Blair Curtin comes up with a clutch interception there. And the Aussies, they've been making a couple of mistakes here. Oh, Ethan Goodwin on the left-hand side gets the offload away to Joshua Butterfield. And the Lions are starting to work with a bit of magic now. They're finding their feet here as we see them play it out. Flat ball, cut out to Cox. Cox on the right centre. Usually accustomed to playing at the right edge in second row. But he can do a job anywhere, can't he? As Matty Harris now turned on his back. Closest to the line that the Lions have been, but it's held up. Josh Petlove making the call there. 4th tackle now, here they go. Great Britain shifted out wide. They give it to Jacob Morrison. Morrison steps one, but he's driven back in the tackle. And held down. Penalty given away. Thomas Usher, I think it was, on that play. And the Lions now get another shot at life. 6 again in the red zone. First tackle now. They play the ball. Curtin, cut out ball taken off. And geez, that's the second time I believe that the Lions have been hit off the ball. Turning it over, and the referee just allowing it to play on here. Riley Murray there in backfield. And he is a forward, so maybe there's a bit of leniency for the forwards here in this game. But it's 6-0, 20 minutes played from Bartercard Odsal Stadium here in Bradford. And I'll tell you what a journey it's been through some of these great stadiums here in the trials. Can't wait to get to the big stadiums and the big crowds in the Six Nations. We're going all over Europe, right across from England to Wales and France. It's going to be absolutely incredible playing in some of these countries at some of these stadiums. 5th and last now for the Kangaroos. Blake Harris in the pocket. Crossfield kick towards Ethan Goodwin. Goodwin finds a bit of space now, and he's taken high from Chaz Dingo. This game is getting very intense, and you can see a bit of back and forth between the two captains. Anthony McDonald giving a bit of a spray towards Will Kay. Questioning some of the tactics or the integrity of how the Aussies are playing. A couple of hits off the ball, turning it over. And Chaz Dingo with a high tackle there. Thomas Usher earlier conceding a penalty, I believe, as well. Holding down in the tackle. They need to watch their discipline, the Aussies, as Jordan Lewis gets the don't argue, and he hits a goosey on Chaz Dingo, the Welsh Dragon. The big fella, he's moving like an outside back. Kyle Lewis now winds it up. Turned on his back now. A metre away from the line. Could they dart from dummy half? They do. Offside call. Blair Curtin. Great awareness from him. Great IQ play. But the Lions will opt to take the 2. They have been struggling to cross the line here. So maybe they're going to try and get a bit of a breather in here. As Kyle Lewis will attempt the first conversion for the Lions. And it's good. 2 points on the board for the home side. 2-6 is the score in favour of the Aussies. And it's been a very tight contest, very back and forth. Not much give between these two sides, and we know how stacked they both are, particularly Australia being a Tier 1 nation with the biggest talent pool at your disposal. But they've had a lot of opt-outs. We talk about Matty Harris opting out for Great Britain, Kane Chapman-Kenny opting out for Pacifica. Two very big losses for this Kangaroo side, but they're still stacked and they'll do a job opening up some opportunities for some new blood to come through. And Brad Goodwin off the bench, playing in the front row. Gets them to the halfway line here. Second tackle now, 25 played from Bradford. Tyrone Clay gets the short ball, gets him to the 40, inside Aussie half now. As the Brits, short ball to Richards, and Richards just cleans it up there. They're getting closer to the red zone, still not there yet as they give it out midfield. Cut out ball to Brad Goodwin, shrugs one off. Brad Goodwin, what a stint he's having. 70 metres gain on his set for Great Britain. Fifth and last. Where will they go? They drop back. Double pass in the pocket. Kyle Lewis is there. He sends it up high. Tap back. Tyrone Clay. Tyrone Clay on the left wing scores for the Lions. And the Great Britain Lions are on the board with their first try of the game. It's now 6-all. And what a magnificent build-up of play it was. The high bomb. Tap back there. And all Tyrone Clay had to do was just dive across the line. And the Lions hit back with a try of their own now. 6-all is the score. Kick to come. Kyle Lewis from the sideline. And the weather not too bad here in Bradford. It's very cold usually during this time of the year here in England. And what a beauty of a conversion there. Slotted from Kyle Lewis. And the Great Britain Lions with the first lead of the game. 8 points to 6 in favour of the British side. And Anthony McDonald leading them here today, leading them for the Six Nations campaign. And what a season he's had. Getting the Broncos to the finals, just squeezing in towards the end. In his first season as a full-time captain. He was a vice-captain alongside Luke Short for many seasons at Parramatta. But he's now established himself as a forefront leader in the SRL. Tyrone Clay. What a game he's having, the former Rabbitohs captain.
Let him go, let him go.
And he can do a job at the wing and fullback. Lachlan Cox on the right-hand side, but they're going to drag him out into touch. And great hustle defense there from the Kangaroos. A gritty tackle there, dragging Lachlan Cox into play. And Blake Harris and Thomas Usher, what a play from them. Thomas Usher, he's been having a great season for the Sharks, and he finds himself now in a Kangaroos jersey. And plays like that, he's certainly making the most of his opportunity as we see Jesse Bennett, the teacher, one of the biggest hitters in the SRL. This man is a freight train. You try and stand in his way. Kangaroos shifting out left side. Thomas Usher wrapped up by Morrison and his teammate there for tackle. They try and get to the red zone, and they will so through Walmsley. The Kangaroos now 5th and last. 24 gain on the set. They drop in the short pocket. Blake Harris puts up a high bomb. Tyrone Clay is going to have a tough one to catch, but he does a great job there. Breaks one, and he gets past Dingo. Tyrone Clay, he might go coast to coast. I think he's gone here. The Lions are going to go all the way for another try. Tyrone Clay, you absolute champion. What a play from Big Play Clay there. He will be wrapped with that one there. Just making something out of nothing. It was a tough catch for him. He had to defuse the high ball, and once he got it, no pressure around him, stepped through the line, and Chaz Dingo was caught flat-footed. Awkward position for Dingo to turn around and adjust, and by that time he was there. Tyrone Clay was off and gone. What a play from Tyrone Clay. 12-6 is the score in favour of the Great Britain Lions. Kick to come from right in front as Kyle Lewis will slot it. 14-6 is the score now. Half an hour played in your third trial game. Rally brought to you by TBC Live. And a cheeky plug to Sunny Visuals, why not? But what a game, what a contest, 14-6. Maybe it is a good thing that we have no fans in attendance, because I'll tell you what, the British crowd, they would have been loving it. They're watching right across the UK on SRL TV. And of course, as always, a big hello and g'day to everyone back home in Australia. And of course, across the ditch to our cousins over in NZ.
On the keep going.
Third and final game of the trials before we kick things off in Manchester next week. It'll be Australia taking on the EU, Team Europe, in the opening game of the tourney. The following game, the Great Britain Lions taking on the New Zealand Kiwis. And the third and final game of the first round will be Pacifica and Ireland. A sold-out Manchester Stadium for all three games. We can't wait for it. Especially that atmosphere. The place will be rocking as Justin Plays fields that catch now. What a season it's been for Plays in Clubland. He's been rotating between wing and fullback for the Broncos, but he really stood up at that one jersey towards the back end of the season, helping the Bronx, playing his part in helping lead them to a finals appearance. We see Will Kay now. Dishes it out to Dingo. And the Aussies get to the halfway line. Fatigue may be starting to settle in here. Bit of a slow play the ball as Will Kay gets him just shy of the 40 inside opposition half. Fifth and last now. Australia give it back to Blake Harris and he'll send it towards the corner of Jacob Morrison with the green cornrows. Jacob Morrison was nearly away there, and Chaz Dingo, he's been called upon a lot as the last line of defence. And it comes with the territory being a fullback, but he's one of, if not the best fullbacks in the SRL. So much experience, and that'll be crucial for this relatively new look Kangaroos side. Like I said, a lot of new faces and debutants. And Brad Goodwin straight through the middle. The big prop forward gets an offload of Jordan Lewis, and Jordan Lewis is brought down there. For tackle, the Lions now just looking comfortable as they have been making great progress on their attack. Less than 5 minutes to go until half time. Fifth and last for the Lions. Grab a kick. Who's going to be there? Dusty Richards cleans it up. And Dusty Richards turned on his back for a handover. And I'll tell you what, the Brits are looking very dangerous. The Aussies may be looking to try and hold them out till half time and reset the game plan. Jackson Ellison strikes one, gets him goosey on. Absolute filthy play with the offload, but it's intercepted by Lockie Cox. Jackson Ellison, what a play it was. He didn't need to force that ball though. And it's the risk that comes when you throw that offload.
2 hands away.
Lockie Cox was just there waiting to pick it off. Flat ball, and it's a forward pass given. An unforced mistake and a turnover from the Lions. As the Kangaroos breathe a sigh of relief now, they need to try and really make this set count. Pin the Lions deep if you can't cross the line, because they're starting to find their rhythm now. As Allison holds on to it that time. Just shy of the 30 as they shift it right. Borson's reverse inside out, back to Dingo, but Dingo marked there and brought down by the defender as Mike Borsons has a crack now. And he'll get them about 15 away from the line. Fifth and last here for the green and gold. They drop back. Blake Harris puts in a high bomb. Pretty good kick. Who's going to be there? Tap back. Dingo's there. But he's wrapped up in an absolute wall of defense. 3 defenders all over him. And he was just marked as soon as that ball left the boot of Blake Harris. And that is the sort of desperate defense that is going to go a long way to beating the Kangaroos. And with a 14-6 lead here, Great Britain Lions in a great spot at the moment. They just need to wind down the clock and head into the sheds with an 8-point lead against the Tier 1 Aussie Australia Kangaroos. Anthony McDonald will be pleased with that first half. Kyle Lewis going to have a stab at it. Oh, this could be dangerous. On the brink of half time, Chaz Dingo tries to return it, but he's brought down. 14-6 is the score. And it's half time. We'll see you in a second. Hello and welcome back to Bartercard Odsal Stadium here from Bradford, where it is the Great Britain Lions with a 14-6 lead over the Australia Kangaroos. And what a start it is in that first half for the Lions. The Aussies were the ones to draw first blood, courtesy of a Coven Walmsley try. But since then, it has just been all Lions with 2 tries and a penalty goal, giving them an 8-point buffer as we head into the second stanza of the trial. An international friendly between Great Britain and Australia. It's an age-old rivalry. It stems back far beyond the land of sports, but it's always a great rivalry. One of the best in the world, you'd have to say. As Chaz Dingo gets the Aussies to the 40. Fifth and last now. Where will they go? The Kangaroos drop back. Right-hand side. Borsons is there. Sends it downfield, and Goodwin's forced to go back a bit. He'll field it. Dingo's there to meet him in the play. And the sub-checks are cleared by both lineups now. A few adjustments for the Lions. Lachlan Cox now shifting out to the left second row position. Matty Harris, big run with the offload away to Blair Curtin. And Blair Curtin making the move to the lock from the hooker spot as Bo Sadler makes his way at the hooker roll. And there he is, as he gives a nice ball to Driscoll from the right edge. Luke Driscoll held in the tackle, and the Aussies conceding a penalty early in the second half as Kyle Lewis will get set to convert this one. A fair way out, but not too far off from the goal. Big kick here for the Lions. This to take the lead out to 10 points. And Great Britain, what a start it is. 16-6 against the Kangaroos. And James Thorne now, one of the substitutes for the green and gold, making his way to the hooker spot, taking the kicking duties away from Mark Lee, who will be set to come back in the second half. Maverick Oldfield also shifting out in the right wing position, I believe. So some good experience out there now for the Aussies. Thorne and Oldfield, 2 Melbourne Storm teammates. Maybe they can bring a bit of that club chemistry here for the Kangaroos, as we see Jordan Lewis now.
3 hands away.
Very proud Welsh representative for this Great Britain side, the Welsh Dragon. His final season as a captain of the Canberra Raiders. Vice captain for the Lions, and they shift into kick formation. They're going to go for a 40-20, but Kyle Lewis just shanks it. And he gives it straight to the opposite half of Blake Harris, who was there and waiting. And the Aussies now with a good look. Just shy of the red zone. Coven Walmsley, what a game he's having.
2 hands away. He's held there.
Second tackle now, the Aussies. They shifted inside. Will Kay, the skipper, gets him about 3 away from the line.
3.
Third tackle now. Where will they go? They shift it left. Walmsley will take the contact. Wrapped up and turn on his back there. Riley Murray will call held up. So it'll be fourth now. 10 away from the line. Australia looking to try and bounce back.
He's held there. Get off him. 5. Hold.
Fifth and last now. They line up in the deep pocket, but they'll go to Malcolm. Oh, Harris. He puts in a grubber, but it's knocked on. I thought it was clean. Will Kay was there. Could have had the first try in the second half for Australia, but Blake Harris just one step too many. Runs into the defender.
He's held there. 2 on the keep going.
And all of a sudden, the Kangaroos feeling a bit of pressure now.
3 back
As the
with
Lions
me.
hold on.
Held.
About 10 away from the halfway line. Clay dishes it out. Jacob Morrison. But they're not letting him through. That side of Nathan O'Donnell and Thomas Usher doing a great job at shutting him down. for the most part of this game. Matty Harris through the middle, offload. Blair Curtin, he darts through, he finds a bit of space. And Blair Curtin, what a run it is. Sets them up in prime look. 5th and last here inside the red zone. The drop back and Jordan Lewis in the way. Referee calls play on. I thought he dropped that one, Jordan Lewis, but referee Josh Pretlove and Riley Murray out there today, and Nathan O'Donnell trying to spark something for his Kangaroo side. Great ball straight to Cody Ogg, who gets them to the halfway line. Just under 50 played here from Bradford. Mike Borsons forces the pass there, and it's turned over straight to Luke Driscoll. The two Newcastle Knights captains for season 9 link up on that play, and Dolan gets him inside the red zone. Great Britain looking very dangerous now. They swing it out wide to the left. Ethan Goodwin brought down in a desperate tackle there from Mike Borsons, I believe. Flat ball, Justin Dolan looking to crash it over the line, but he's held up short. Will they dart from dummy here? Bo Sadler, no, it's a flat ball straight through the gap, and Lachlan Cox once again goes over for the Brits to score his first try of the game, and what a try it was. Lachlan Cox making the shift out to 11 in the second half, and that's one of the reasons why his speed is absolutely lethal, especially in the red zone. Look at that, he nearly went flying over the in goal. And it is starting to go from bad to worse here for Australia. 20-6 is the score, 50 minutes played. But the Lions are just on fire at the moment. Kyle Lewis there to slot the conversion. Tosses the tee away, 22-6. It is in favour of Great Britain. Okay, trying to get the orders out. Expected to run off the field at 65 minutes, where Luke Malkus, I think, will be the one to run back in and take over there. But he wants to try and make as much of an impact as he can while he's on the field. It's a different ball game as a captain. Once you're off the field and you can only watch on, hope for the best. It is a relatively new look Kangaroo side. A lot of new faces, and as we stated before, a lot of opt-outs for Australia. It's not a full strength side that we've seen in previous seasons. Jacob Morrison on the right edge, and that's with all due respect to these Kangaroos here for the Six Nations campaign. But a lot of opt-outs for Australia and even New Zealand as well. Great Britain, one of the beneficiaries with Matty Harris. Maverick Oldfield, he finds space. Maverick Oldfield, he just has to get past Tyrone Clay, and he does so. Maverick Oldfield, what an absolute magician, taking it coast to coast, and he'll run it under the black dot to get the first try of the game for the Aussies in the second half. Maverick Oldfield, the experience, the speed, he is an absolute sniper because he is deadly from long range, and what a try it is. The Aussies back on the board now. Kick to come here. And that breathes a bit of life now into Australia's hopes for winning today's game. Albeit it is a trial game. It's an international friendly. So the result is not the be-all, end-all. But obviously these two teams do want to win. They want to find out that right combination, that right rotation, that formula that'll give them the best odds of winning this Six Nations tournament. And the Six Nations, it's just going to be so competitive, so tough. Teams like Pacifica, you know, with Eli Barnes and John Nanai and Chris Lord, Lennox Prakash, I mean, it's a stacked side. The Europeans, they've got a star-studded lineup. Don Pongston, Sneeko Bro, Luke Short, I mean, Michael Crimp. There's some great names there. You can't go past Ireland. Liam Ryan, Corey Bell, Justin Monkey, Liam Rogers, Riley Murray. I mean, there's just names all over the joint. The Kiwis, DTA, Damien Moana, John McCartney, Chance Bunce. Man, You just celebrate at it, don't you? It's
That's tackle 4,
gonna be
hands off.
one of, if not the best tournaments we've seen in the SRL, and a held and tackle penalty. All of a sudden, Australia, they're now finding themselves with a bit of rhythm. The rub of the green going their way. Anthony McDonald just telling his boys to calm it down a bit from the sideline. And a forward pass straight off the bat, straight from the tap. And it's an unforced mistake there. It might have been James Thorne that threw that one. But not an ideal play for the Aussies, just throwing that one away. It's a reverse inside out play, and Will Kay, clutch as always, comes up with it. Stepping up in the second half is Lachlan Martin, straight through the gap, gets a pass away to James Thorne. Great offload it was. Kangaroos now, they're starting to find their feet here. Their footing in this game. It's been a competitive battle between the two. Great Britain and Australia. It brings some of the best sporting moments that you could see. And what a tight contest it is. 22-12 in favour of the home side. Great Britain Lions as Will Kay winds it up on the run. Stops shy of the line. 5th and last here. 56 played. The Kangaroos flat ball out to Blake Harris. And Blake Harris can't get the ball off in time. Jordan Lewis and co there to wrap him up. I believe it was Jordan Lewis. Matty Harris, an absolute machine through the middle.
Get off him.
They give it to Blair Curtin now.
2.
Brought down by Luke Malkus. And the Lions,
He's held there.
I think a bit of fatigue starting to hit them now. They've been on the back foot for the past few sets, but he just going off the way this game has been. They've really been in this fight. They've really been on top for most of it. Chaz Dingo now. Can he be the one? Chaz Dingo hits the goosey. He just has to get past the line. Last line of the fence. Chaz Dingo. What an absolute superstar. First tackle for the Aussies. Inside opposition half. Lachlan Martin. Straight through the middle. Byron Clay, but he gets the offload. No one there. Will Kay with the fend off. Oh, shrugs one off. Will Kay. Barging his way to the line, agonisingly short. Flat ball to Mike Borson's third tackle, just under 60 played as we enter the final quarter of this international friendly between Australia and Great Britain. Fourth tackle, Will Kay on the line. James Thorne plays the ball inside to Borson's. Borson's turned on his back. 5th and last here, the Kangaroos looking to roll the dice. Let's see what they land. They give it to Blake Harris. He's across the line, but Blake Harris can't put the ball down. Great wrestling there from the Great Britain Lions. Great defensive pressure from them. And it just felt like the Kangaroos were bound to score off that set, but it's that urgency, that desperation from the Brits that have really gone a long way for them, establishing their dominance in this game.
Get up. 3. Hands away.
And the Aussies, the favourites for this one.
That's tackle 4. Hands off.
Down by 10 at the moment, and they need to strike back soon because we're in the final quarter of the game. Just under 20 minutes remaining. 5th and last here, Bo Sadler will play the ball. Clay's there, dishes it out right side to Kyle Lewis. Kyle Lewis with a good kick, but it's straight towards Nathan O'Donnell. O'Donnell winds it back. Met by Tyrone Clay, who will not let him through.
Release.
But it's a good return there. First tackle just shy of the 40 as they dish it to Jack Jimmy, who's now back on through the front row. Jack Jimmy injecting a lot of speed through this Kangaroos forward pack, and it's a speed-oriented forward pack with Will Kay at 13. Cody Olga 12. Chaz Dingo trying to open up the play here for the Kangaroos.
4. Get back. Look at me.
Okay, we'll take the fourth tackle there. 65 gained. They're a fair way out from the try line, Australia. Blake Harris with the high bomb, perfectly placed. Who's going to get there? Tap back. Chaz Dingo is there to score. Chaz Dingo with his second try of the game for the green and gold. His first try for the green and gold. My mistake. Chaz Dingo, an absolute superstar. It just feels like it's an inevitability for him to score in these big games, particularly when it comes to New South Wales and Australia. He has just been one of the pillars for these rep sides. One of the big names in rep footy. And all of a sudden now, the Aussies slowly grinding their way back into this game. It's a 6-point deficit. Kick to come. James Thorne slots it comfortably. And all of a sudden, 22 to 18 in favour of Great Britain. Still with the lead here, but Australia with the momentum. And it was threatening to turn ugly at one point. But this is the Australia side that you just cannot write off. A Tier 1 nation. A new look side compared to the last team that they fielded against the Kiwis last season. But they're doing a job now. Slow start, but they've finally gotten out of the hole there, and they're starting to play with confidence now, the Australian side, as you see. Usher gives it out. Harris straight to Will Kay. Trying to get his runs in before he marches off the field. James Thorne dart from dummy half. And the Aussie skipper Will Kay is now off the field. Luke Malchus will take the captain's armband as he fields or takes to the field at the lock spot for the final 15 minutes of the game. That could be crucial given how close this game is, as Blake Harris gets a great kick away towards the corner of Jacob Morrison. Morrison steps one, and the gap is closed very quick, courtesy of Chaz Dingo. Matty Harris now back on the field. Will be playing at the lock position to finish this one off. So 3 different locks for the British Lions in this game. Lewis Curtin and now Matty Harris there to try and finish it off. And off the noggin there, Dustin Richards gets a mouthful of ball there, but he does well to hold on to it. And now as we see Tyrone Clay on the right edge, gets him in Aussie half now. 5th and last here, the Lions give it back to Kyle Lewis. What a great kicking game it's been from Kyle Lewis. This one might bounce. Oh, what a play. Maverick Oldfield. He decides to return it. He just has to get past Tyrone Clay. Tyrone Clay's going to drag him out into touch. No, he's not. Referee's not ruling it. Luke Short standing right there, saying that he was not out, not even by a shoelace. I thought Clay was going to drag him over. Almost Gordon Tallis style. And Cody Ogg now through the middle. What a game it's been between the Kangaroos and the Lions here on SRL TV. Luke Malchus, big fend off, and that's the impact we spoke about, what he can bring through the middle. 4 tackle. Australia give it out. 6 again. Big fend off from James Thorne. Big 6 again call here. And Anthony McDonald is not having it. But nonetheless, the Kangaroos' first tackle now. 5 meters away from the line. They give it to Thorne. Thorne not going anywhere. Matty Harris just holding him still. Second tackle, flat ball cut out to Coven Walmsley. Walmsley turned on his back.
He's held there.
And it's called held up here from Josh Pretlove. One of the 2 match officials in the field of play is Mike Borsons. He's driven back a meter or 2 here. 4 tackle now, Australia, cut out ball. They shifted, Jack Jimmy. Jimmy's just going to take the contact now. Just under 80 gained on the set. 5th and last, 70 minutes played here between Great Britain and Australia. It goes high, it's caught. Coven Walmsley, he ends up with the ball, but he's held up in some great defensive desperation pressure. Some great defensive pressure from the Lions. And the Brits, once again, holding up on their goal line. They have got to be proud of this performance. Regardless of the result, they are giving the Aussies a run for their money. And they hold a 4-point lead, just under 10 minutes to go. All it takes is one more score here for the Lions. That could potentially seal the game. But there's still a lot of footy left to be played. 3rd and final trial game before Six Nations kicks off next week in Manchester. 5th and last now. Cox will play the ball. Sadler dishes it. Butterfield Launches it towards the corner of Maverick Oldfield. Watch out. Steps one. Maverick Oldfield. Thought he was going to cut back infield, but he decides to straighten the run. And Tyron Clay there to meet him. Cody Ogg takes that one. Thought he dropped it there. The Lions not happy with the call here. And it's play on, says the ref. Justin plays on the right wing. Nearly gets past Tyrone Clay, but Clay is just clutched up on the fence. He's been huge for this Lions team tonight, and I'll tell you what, he can take a lot of positives heading out of this game. Will he be the full-time fullback for Great Britain? There's options there. But Clay has done a job tonight, hasn't he? Fifth and last, 73 played. Borson's crossfield kick towards the corner of Jacob Morrison. Wrapped up in a great tackle from Thomas Usher. And Usher has just made life a nightmare for him on that edge, on that wing. And the clock is ticking down, the nerves, the tension. It's all happening here from Bradford. Tyrone Clay looking to wriggle his way past the defensive line. Australia now trying to hold up here. Keeping the Lions inside their own half of the field. Driscoll taking the tackle from James Thorne. Back inside, Tyrone Clay gets the offload. Oh, big fend from Bo Sadler. A little don't argue there, but we brought down in the tackle. Fifth and last, they drop in the slot. Kyle Lewis just takes the run. I thought he was gone there. But he's just clinged onto for dear life. And oh, big fan from Luke Malchus. Malchus, what a stint he's having at the lock position now. He's really playing his part, making an impact for Australia. And he's going to have to step up if they're going to try and steal the result here today. From Buttercard Oddsale Stadium. First ever game of SRL here at this venue. And we love playing international footy. We love coming up to the Northern Hemisphere, across Europe, across the UK. We're going to have games in the Six Nations tournament all across Wales, England, and France. It's going to be great. Fifth and last, Blake Harris just decides to dart off with it. Maybe going off script there. He just runs it straight through the middle. Does not get the kick away.
Right, here's tackle one.
And the Lions now, with just under 3 minutes to go, could they be on the brink of a huge upset here against Australia? It won't count for much officially, but it'll do so much for their confidence heading into the tournament next week. They just need to run down the clock. The Aussies looking to hold out defensively, potentially get one more set off the back of a big kick return. Who's it going to be to step up? For the Lions, for the Kangaroos. Richards now driven back. Fifth and last here, just under 2 minutes remaining. Australia will have one more set to try and steal this game away from the home side. As we see Butterfield kick it towards the corner of Nathan O'Donnell. O'Donnell steps one, cuts infield. O'Donnell, he's got space. He's going to get past Jacob Morrison and he just has to run it all the way. O'Donnell's going to steal it. Kangaroos are going to win this game here. Nathan O'Donnell, you absolute legend. What a try. What a moment. Oh, what a try that was from Nathan O'Donnell. It's a moment of miracles. It's a moment of magic as he dives over Nathan O'Donnell. That is going to be one that he will remember for his career. A coast-to-coast try, and the Kangaroos, the Aussies, will steal it at the death. They will steal it in the final minute of the game. James Thorne just has to slot this one from right in front. And yes, he does. 22-24 in favour of the visitors, the green and gold. They are wrapped with this result. They've only just squeaked by. And the Great Britain Lions, you got to feel bad for them because they played such a good game, but it's an 80-minute game. And the second half, whether it was complacency with the lead that they had, it's hard to say, but the magic from the Kangaroos, Nathan O'Donnell sealing it right at the end, at the death for the Kangaroos. And Australia are going to walk away with a 2-point victory against Great Britain heading into the Six Nations tournament next week. And they get the job done here today against Anthony McDonald and his resilient, brave Lions side. What a game it was. Great Britain with a lead early on. The Kangaroos looking like they weren't going to put up much of a fight for too much longer, considering how that game played out, but they finally get it right at the end. What a game it was here from Bradford as we take a look at your TBC live stats. Great Britain 22, Australia 24 is your final score. Tyrone Clay with a double. Lachlan Cox there with one to his name. Kyle Lewis, 5 conversions. He was great off the tee tonight. Take a look at the Aussies. Maverick Oldfield, Coven Walmsley, Chaz Dingo and Nathan O'Donnell, the hero of the game. Winning this one for the Kangaroos, James Thorne and Mark Lee with conversions 3-1 respectively. And we'll take a look at the stats. 50% possession split, dead even. I mean, it was that tight of a game, wasn't it? It was that close. A majority of completions for the Lions, 24 from 29 completions compared to the Kangaroos, 19 from 26. Kangaroos, 12 errors, double the amount of errors made from the Great Britain Lions. And there was 4 penalties conceded from the Kangaroos as well. So, yeah, you go from those numbers and, geez, it's hard to think that the Aussies have done it at, they had a bit of a shocker first half after a strong start, but they came back in the second half, down from 22 points to 8, I think it was. And they just scored 3 unanswered tries to steal this game at the death. 183 tackles from the Lions compared to the Kangaroos, 177. Missed tackles on par, 29 to 28, and more line breaks from the Kangaroos. And what a performance it was. We'll take a look at the Lions stats. And Tyrone Clay, their fullback, 279 run meters, leading the way. 16 tackles, 0 missed with 7 line breaks and a double to his name. Probably the standout performer for this Lions side. Blair Curtin splitting duties from hooker and lock, 171 run meters, 21 tackles, 1 missed with a line break. 3 errors to his name as well. So, yeah, not the stat that you want, obviously, but he had a great game tonight. Butterfield and Lewis leading the way for the halves, both over 120 meters. Kicking game was on point from the Lions tonight. Don't think they botched the kick, but it was great to see. And that halves combo is really going to do wonders for him. Dusty Richards, what a game he had. 60-minute stint, over 100. Bo Sadler and Jordan Lewis, the Welsh Dragon, all over the century mark, 4 running meters. Matty Harris and Jacob Morrison, Brad Goodwin, Lockie Cox as well, just a shade under 100. But, yeah, first of all, I mean, I'll just quickly give my thoughts on this Lions side. Very strong lineup. Spewing for them that they couldn't win here today because they put themselves in a great spot to do it. And it would have done wonders for their confidence had they won this game, and they nearly had it. For 78 minutes, they had this game won against Australia. What an upset that would have been. But it is an international friendly. Plenty of ups, plenty of positives for Great Britain to look back on in this game. And it'll be a question of whether or not they rotate things around. Tinker with their lineup heading into their first opening game against the New Zealand Kiwis, where they are going to have to step up like they did today, but just work on finishing the game. And look, I tip my hats off to the Lions. I thought they played brilliant today, but when you come up against a side like Australia, you have to bring an 80-minute performance. And there is the man of the hour, Nathan O'Donnell, 226 run meters from the wing position, 6 line breaks. He had 1 try, but it was the 1 try that won Australia the game. Chaz Dingo, 179 run meters, very clutch, as always, with a try to his name. He did concede 2 penalties, very un-Chaz Dingo-like, but a great performance from him. Defensively, didn't miss a beat, didn't miss a tackle. Maverick Oldfield, in 41 minutes, 168 run meters. The coast-to-coast try that he scored really helped get the Aussies back in the game. And potentially he was the one that really shifted momentum in the green and gold's favour Will Kay, the skipper, 132 run meters, 4 tackle breaks, and 5 line breaks to his name. Kevin Walmsley, Mike Borsons, Cody Malkus, and Thorne all north of 100. Markley, Harris, and Martin just a shade under the century mark. Quickly, for the Kangaroos, I'll just give my analysis on this game and their prospects for the Six Nations. Luke Malkus coming in that final 15 minutes really helped break open the middle of the field. And I think with him and Will Kay splitting the roles at lock, the two Sim VP front runners, that is going to be a lethal combination. Cody Ogg bringing a lot of speed, but defensively he was very solid. 2 missed tackles, but he had 2 line breaks and over 122 run meters. Mike Borsons I thought was outstanding in his debut. His first game as an Australian Kangaroo, big moment for him, and I'm sure he's going to step up in this environment. When we get to the Six Nations, he's going to be someone that the Kangaroos can rely upon. A lot of experience and leadership from him. But it was a great game from both sides. The Aussies a bit sloppy in the first half, but they cleaned it up in the second, and they finally, got going. They had to really dig deep, and if it wasn't for Nathan O'Donnell stealing that one at the end, this could have been an upset loss from Australia, but that will give them the victory, and Will Kay 2-0 as an Australian Kangaroos captain, and that'll give huge confidence and momentum for the Aussies as they prepare to face Team Europe next week to kick off the Six Nations tournament in Manchester. And what a game it was. Thank you all for joining me here today from Bradford. 22-24, Australia with the W here tonight. And that is the third and final game of the trials. Join us next week for the kickoff of the Six Nations tournament from Manchester Stadium. It's going to be Australia taking on Europe, and it's going to be the first 13-a-side international tournament in the SRL. 9 seasons in the making. How good is it? Anyways, I'll stop dribbling. I'll see you all next week. Enjoy your night. Enjoy your SRL Six Nations footy. And we will see you back here on SRL TV.